Reaction pouring in from the law enforcement community after former New York City mayor and potential 2020 hopeful Michael Bloomberg reverses his stance on a policy that he pushed for years, stop and frisk.
There is just no question that stop, question, frisk has saved countless lives.
Back then, I was wrong, and I'm sorry.
All right, joining me live with his reaction to this is former NYPD lieutenant and U.S. Army veteran Darren Porcher. Thanks so much for coming in today. We do appreciate it. Let's take a look at some numbers here real quick. I just want to look at some numbers on, I guess, homicides. 2001, Bloomberg takes office, 649. You go down to 2013, 335. He was a good mayor on crime. The city improved under his watch because of policies, a lot would argue, like stop and frisk. Why is he apologizing?
I agree that we did experience precipitous drops as a result of his mayoralship, but the truth of the matter is I think that he's not a consistent leader. When I say he's not a consistent leader, sure. At this time the stop, question, and frisk was an issue, and this is something that overwhelmingly was opposed by not just the police unions but citizens in New York. Now, as we fast forward to the current day and age, now you see him folding like a chair for the purposes of the electorate and running for president. That's just not a good leadership quality. Granted, it's we have seen crime lows, but at the same token, the police unions on many instances have stated, hey, look, you know what? We're using the quantitative statistics on stopping people, and there's been no correlation between the stop, question, and frisk and the reduction in crime.
So you don't think stop and frisk was part of the reduction of crime in the city?
No, I think it was more targeted enforcement.
Really?
And the targeted enforcement was focused on where the crime patterns were occurring in New York City, and also holding police commanders accountable. It wasn't to stop, question, and frisk.
Okay, let's look at a statement from the Benevolent Association, the police association here. Mayor Bloomberg could have saved himself this apology if he had just listened to the police officers on the street. We said in the early 2000s that the quota-driven emphasis on street stops was polluting the relationship between cops and our communities. His administration's misguided policy inspired an anti-police movement that has made cops the target of hatred and violence. The apology is too little, too late. A lot of people argue, though, that, I mean, the deterrent of knowing that a cop could stop anybody that's carrying a gun at any time kept people from carrying weapons on the street. Because if you get caught in New York City with an illegal gun, you go to jail.
That is true to a certain point. Yeah. But you want to focus, when you look at the stops in comparison to the arrests, I want to say upwards of 90-some-odd% of all of the stops proved to be nothing. We didn't have anything. So it goes back to the targeted enforcement and focusing specific on where these crimes were actually occurring.
Let's talk about the apology in general, though, the fact that he's going back and apologizing. Let's listen to the mayor right here.
It's just not going to happen on a national level for somebody like me unless I was willing to change all my views and go on what CNN called an apology tour. Biden went out and apologized for being male, over 50, white, Beto, whatever his name is. He's apologized for being born.
He's right. Do you think it looks weak when you come out and you just start off by apologizing for something that you supported for so long? Do you dig yourself a hole?
Well, I'm okay with apologizing for something that you did wrong, but when I look at Bloomberg, it's a very he comes from a very hypocritical nature. He started off as a Democrat, then he ran for mayor as a Republican, then he switched as an independent, and now he's turning the tides and becoming a Democrat all over again. So it begs the question of where are you as a leader? You have to have a backbone if you're going to run for the president of the United States, and he truly doesn't have that as a result.
That's why I think the president wins a lot of the time. He doesn't apologize. He doubles down.
Care what people say, what people think.
There's a strength in that.
If it's in his heart to get something done, he does it. And I salute him for that. And that shows what his leadership qualities are as a result.
Dr. Porcher, appreciate it. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Rob.